Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Good day always when we have our friends in from the Scripps Ranch Theatre. Joining us is a frequent guest on the show. Ted Leib is director of Kimberly Akimbo. He's also on the Scripps Ranch Theatre board. How you doing, Ted?
Very good, thank you.
Always good to have you in, joined by your colleague, Debra Wanger. She's an actress in Kimberly Akimbo. How you doing there, Debra?
I'm great. So glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled. Can't wait to hear your 2 cents on what you're doing with the performance, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., in her 3rd year co-hosting our Spotlight show, which I'm very grateful for. How you doing there, Kristen?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Why don't you get us started?
Let's do it. So let's just start with the mission of Scripps Ranch Theatre.
Scripps Ranch Theatre has been in the community of Scripps Ranch now for 2 years. It started out as a community theater, just unpaid and volunteers for the most part. But for the last 20-odd years, it's been a professional theater serving the arts for both the community and San Diego at large. We also have a burgeoning education system, outreach into the schools. We had a summer camp this year, so we've extended that side of things. But like a lot of the smaller theaters in town, the professional theaters, we are an opportunity for local actors, directors, designers to put on really good plays.
Yeah, I can attest. I've been to many, many shows there, and it's amazing. It hasn't always been on the Alliant campus, has it?
It has not, but those days predate my involvement.
Yeah, me too. So I was curious.
I've been with them since about 2013.
Okay, excellent. Debra, why don't you talk a little bit about the show that's coming up?
This is a great play. It's been on my radar for, I guess it's 20 years. It's about a 20-year-old play.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and it's come to light again because they just wrote a musical of it that won the Tony a couple years ago. So it's been it's had a renaissance.
Yeah.
This is the play that the musical is based on. And it's a really interesting, dark comedy about this teenage girl who has this advanced aging disease. She has this genetic disorder which causes her to look like she's in her 70s.
Wow.
And but she's still a teenager. So she's at this point in her life where she's starting her life, but she's also kind of ending her life, and how this affects all the people around her, her family, her friends in school, just how she's trying to navigate all this.
Is that who you play?
That's who I play.
Okay, so a lot of makeup, I take it?
Yeah, the makeup and wigs and nail polish and all the whole thing. But there's also a lot of physicality involved, which is really a unique...
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm 16 on the inside and 70 on the outside, and neither of which I am in real life. So it's an interesting puzzle to put together.
Right. So how do you do that? I mean, you're the director. How do you get your actress to do that?
For this particular show, I just spent a lot of time deciding who I was going to cast and doing a search. We cast the net fairly wide. We had a number of very strong actresses in that age range. But Deb brought a particular ability to inhabit that from the audition process. I rely heavily on the actor's ability to find the characters on their own. Obviously, I'm trying to help guide them in a particular direction. But Deborah's very talented. We've known each other now for over 10 years. This is the first time I've had a chance to direct her, but we've been in a couple of things together.
Now, is this a singing role too, Debra?
No,
okay.
Just acting.
Okay, it's acting, very physical, right? What, as you were saying, correct?
And Kimberly is in every scene. So this is all how the dysfunctional world orbits around her.
Is she ever at 16? She's 16, but she looks 70, right? Is she always look 70 throughout the whole play?
Yeah, I mean, technically, she starts at 15 and ages ages a day through the course of the play. And part of the plot is that it's her 16th birthday, and how her family, which could possibly be her last birthday, with the life expectancy of this disease, most kids don't live past 16. So dealing with that, and what does it mean to have a 16th birthday, which is usually just the beginning.
Right, exactly.
And it could be the end.
Right. What was tough about this part, or was it?
It is.
Okay.
It's technically very difficult. Just the text. This playwright is very particular about every yeah and right and teenage talk. And a lot of the characters are echoing what the last person is saying. So it has to be. There's a lot of technical stuff. The physicality of portraying someone who would be in that situation, who's both youthful and feeling the restriction of painful joints or fatiguing, or all the things that happen with advanced age, and making that honest too, not being like, I'm an old lady. It has to be real, especially Scripps Ranch is an intimate house, which is wonderful, but the audience is right there and they know if it's honest or not, because they're in your living room.
Right.
And
literally
you're sitting across the table from them.
Right. I'm a veteran of Scripps Ranch Theatre, as Susan knows, and she's laughing right now, Susan Clausen, hysterically, just can't pick it up on it. But no, seriously, and Kristen and we went and saw Looped there. But was it last year or was it?
I have no idea. I don't know what year it is. I don't know where we are right now. We saw it at some point. It was great. It was a Roustabouts or a co-production.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a Roustabouts production. So
funny.
Yeah,
so
not
funny.
an SRT. So we need to get in here and see this one.
Yes, okay, we can do that. And to the
we have
point,
a number of field trips lined up, so let's just add it to the queue. We'll go to the animal sanctuary, then we'll go see a show, and then we'll do whatever
tell
else.
your husband you'll be back in a couple
I'll
of years.
be back in it's fine. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I had a question for Ted, actually, as you were talking about the text and everything. I have heard, maybe, refute me if I'm wrong, that you are kind of a letter perfect sort of director. Am I right?
That's out there in the world.
It is, I guess,
It is very true. And it's particularly true with this playwright. David Lindsay Abaire writes such perfect text. Every word has a meaning, has a reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't just throw out something to say, well, just say what this means and you'll be fine. No,
right.
You have to. It's a rhythm thing. It's an intent thing. And we're finding, as we've been rehearsing, that we're finding new things. Virtually every time we go through it, we'll sit down afterwards and somebody will say, I just noticed that he said, I say this here. And then later on in the play, I say something else and it connects directly to that. So if you're not saying those words exactly right, you're kind of missing the through line. This is the kind of play. Kimberly Akimbo is the name of the play.
Right.
And it's something that you could see multiple times. And each time you would find something new that you hadn't noticed before.
There's almost a layer of like a mystery story to it, the way he unfolds all these little Easter eggs that come back later. If you're really paying attention, you're like, oh yeah, and that connects to that. It's really cool.
Yeah, we're chatting with our friends from Scripps Ranch Theatre. Ted Leib is the director of Kimberly Akimbo, is also on the Scripps Ranch Theatre board, joined by his colleague Debra Wanger, actress in Kimberly Akimbo. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlossberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year. Brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in the community, whether it's supporting visual performing arts, food insecurity, Alzheimer's. They are just with everybody shoulder to shoulder and have been for many, many years, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. So, I think I've asked this question every time Ted is on the show. So I'm going to ask it again, and then you can weigh in on it as well, Deborah. So you just had mentioned, when you see it on this day and then you go back to see it the next day, how did I miss that part? Then you see it a third time. I missed that part too. Is that unusual or not unusual for this type of play?
Well, it's not unusual for this playwright.
Right.
He also wrote Good People, which was a play that Susan and I did at Scripps Ranch back in 2016 or 17. And that is definitely a theme that he comes back to with each of his shows. Rabbit Hole was one of his big
I was going to say, I've seen that a number of times. I thought that was his,
But it depends. I mean, this is a comedy, but it's a dark comedy, but it also has if you were to play this as straight drama, you would have all of these different layers that you could play. And I think that's the genius of him. I'm sure that Lindsay Abaire probably sat down and meticulously planned out each of these beats, each of these moments, and how they connected throughout, long before he ever started actually writing the words. It's that perfectly crafted.
How big is the cast?
5.
There's 5, okay. Yeah. And Debra, you're in every scene, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I get a page or two off here and there to change my
That's
clothes.
nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Very
That's
good.
kind.
Okay, and so then obviously you got to interact well, as you always do, with folks that are in the performances. Was it hard to do that in this type of a role, interacting with the other actors and actresses, or not really?
When you're working, playing a family, you really become a family, and it's really interesting how but you have to get to know each other fast. And it's,
right.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm in love with you.
Yep.
or I've known you my whole life. But there's also a commonality with actors. And luckily, like with Ted, sometimes you get to work with people again and again. So there's a rapport there. But just the nature of the job is you just jump in and dive in and, hi, nice to meet you. We're married, or you're my boyfriend, or But you also, that's what rehearsals are for, and finding these relationships and the physical relationships, the emotional things, the private jokes you might have, all those things.
Right. When's it run? From when to when?
We open October 27th, the Saturday. There's a preview on the 26th, Friday night, and then it closes October 19th. So it's 4 weekends.
So
November,
September 26th?
September 26th, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I said
you went
wrong.
backwards. Okay.
Sorry. September 26th is our first preview.
Got it.
Closes October 19th. So it's 4 weekends with Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a lot of fun on this. Now, you've done acting, correct?
I have done the acting, yes.
Have you done acting like this type of a role?
This intense? I've done shows where I've been on stage the entire time, yeah.
Right.
But I'm not letter perfect. So as a writer, I appreciate this approach. As an actor, I remember a director once said to me, yeah, that was the idea of the show. I mean, I just, it's why I like directing more, because I just don't have a great memory. But yeah, these shows are very, very challenging. So yeah, but thankfully also speaking to you, San Diego just has this beautiful community of people, so many talented people that are just warm and lovely and, become family overnight. I had a question. So for both of you, what drew you to this particular show besides the wonderful writing, of course?
This rolls on my bucket list.
Yeah.
It's has the physical and technical challenges, but the emotional challenges as well. And I mean, it's just such a juicy role. So I ran into Ted. He's like, hey, you want to submit for this? I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy getting to do a variety of things. The last thing I did was a big fiddler, and we did Fiddler on the Roof. Moonlight, huge theater, for 2,000 people every night, singing and comedy and drama. So it's such a different and much older piece. So to get to do the variety of things, it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm doing a really dramatic role, which also has a lot of comedy in it, with physical issues and emotional stuff in a really teeny theater. So it's fun to get to really do the variety stuff.
Yeah.
So, and he asked.
What about you, Ted? What drew you to this?
Well, I'm on the SRT play reading committee, and this actually came across came to our attention 2 or 3 seasons ago when we were considering pieces. And several of us on the committee really liked this piece. So we chose it. And then when we submitted for the rights, New York, they're planning to do a musical.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you can't have it, which was disappointing. And so we waited a couple of years. The musical became a big hit. The rights became available again, and we jumped on it. And what grabbed me immediately upon reading it is having this, frankly, dysfunctional family. It's a dysfunctional family. There's a lot going on there. People that seemingly just, why are they married? But there's something going on underneath there where you understand it. But that unfolds throughout. And I love stories like that.
Mm-hmm.
Intimate, personal stories that have some sort of what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
When you first see them in action, something's going on here. I don't know what it is. And again, Lindsay Abaire peels that back in such a beautiful, not slow, but thoughtful way that I first reading, I thought I'd love to direct this piece. I'd love to see this piece.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does SRT have any sort of theme this year, or what? Can you tell us a bit about the other shows?
Yeah, we do. This is called the Diva season.
Okay. As Debra slangs her hair back.
Hence, Debra.
Technically, I'm a diva.
I mean,
my Instagram handle is Debra Diva.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
That's awesome.
If I could remember the other shows, I know we're doing a play called Donna Orbits the Moon,
Okay.
which is a one-woman show that I believe Susan Clausen is going to be starring in.
Hey, I know her. Cool.
We actually did that piece during COVID as an online streaming program, and now we're going to bring it to the stage. There's also Lend Me a Soprano, which is Ken Ludwig's version of Lend Me a Tenor, his gender switch. Help me out. Masterclass. Yes, that's coming up next.
Oh, cool.
That is a co-production with Roustabouts, an actual co-production where
Okay.
Roustabouts and SRT are both producing it, starring the great Sandy Campbell.
Nice.
And the last one, I can't remember. Or is it just a four? It's just a 4-show season.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
4-show season.
4 divas is plenty.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. When we come back from break, let's talk a little bit more about the play itself. And certainly we always want to talk about the role that Scripps Ranch Theatre plays with the schools. I know it's in the DNA of Scripps Ranch Theatre, works with the local schools throughout the county. I know that's something that's a passion of yours, Ted, I'm sure with you as well. Debra, we return with Ted Leib, director of Kimberly Akimbo, joined by Debra Wanger, Debra Diva Wanger, if I could add that, actress in Kimberly Akimbo. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things for people in San Diego County, and we will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you listen to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 years of doing great things in San Diego County. Always great when we have in the studio with us our friends from Scripps Ranch Theatre. Ted Leib is the director of Kimberly Akimbo. He's also on the Scripps Ranch Theatre board, and joined by his friend and colleague, Debra Wanger, who's an actress in Kimberly Akimbo. I'm joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Education, how important is it to you personally, Ted, and you can add to it too, Debra, when I mean education, the K-12 space, and with Scripps Ranch Theatre?
Very important. It's something that we're trying to expand upon. For me personally, when I was at Oceanside Theater Company for several years, we had a thriving youth theater program that included an outreach that connected to local schools, and SRT is trying to get that as well. We've had some success in the past, and then COVID sort of interrupted it. But in addition to that, we have youth theater camps. We had 3 weeks, I believe, of a camp run by SRT. And then we also co-produced or co-hosted with another theater company, Roustabout's again, on a youth production of Grease that we did this summer. We also have internship programs where we've had local high schoolers who have worked on our crew or otherwise helped out with shows. In fact, we have somebody on this particular show that's going to be helping us out. We always have group discounts for schools. We reach out to the teachers to try to offer them discounts on even free tickets if they want to bring their students to see our shows. We'd like to expand more. We're somewhat limited because we're on the campus of Alliant University, so we have to abide by their terms. Right.
Do you come out to the schools themselves? Will you go out to Marshall Middle School or Scripps Ranch High or something?
We have done that in the past. I don't know if we've got things happening right now that are in that particular vein.
Yeah.
But I grew up with youth theater. I grew up doing San Diego Junior Theater. Doing that way back when. It turns out my aunt and uncle ran the place back when I was a
nice.
kid. Yeah. You probably know them, Don and Bonnie Ward.
I know of them, yes.
Yeah. Bonnie Ward was my mom's sister.
Oh, very cool.
And so that was my introduction at a very young age. And then I sort of stepped away for a while. But I'm a huge fan. I've seen how theater helps kids thrive in all aspects of life. And that's so important these days, especially because, quite frankly, funding for those things has fallen off.
Yeah. And Ted, you've heard me say this before. Susan's sick and tired of me saying this, but I'll say it forever. When I was working for San Diego Unified many years ago, I worked really closely with the VAPA folks because my specialty was curriculum and reading and all that business and history. And, of course, you can teach every subject under the sun, under theater. You've got physics of how to build sets and all that business, science, obviously language arts, history, oral. There's not a subject you can't deal with on this. Debra, when you got involved with theater, were you young, or was there an epiphany that came later?
No, I was young. My brother used to be in an acting troupe in Chicago with a young Joan Cusack, Jeremy Piven. So as a kid, I was going seeing these guys as teenagers. I'm like, they're really good. That looks really fun. Who knew they were going to end up being these huge stars? Right. So I followed my brother to class. And he ended up leaving the business after a couple professional gigs and things. And I got the bug and stuck with it. So from about age 9, I kept going. Right. And then made my professional debut at 17, 18. Did mostly musical theater. That's my first love. But then plays, musicals. I was that kid who would just, any performance opportunity, singing, acting, dancing, choir, whatever. And I really enjoy it. And I'm a mom too, and my kids have done a lot of junior theater, a lot of stuff at the J Company, which has a great program. They've done on stage and off, and it's been great for them to enjoy the social relationships, to learn about all aspects of theater. Great for just being able to present at school, being more confident, and it's fun, it's creative, all the things that you just mentioned.
Well, it brings people together, understatement of the world, brings cultures together, brings people who, don't think they have a skill set to be on theater. And then they find out, actually, I can do this,
Does that mean you're going to do some theater?
I will never do theater.
Oh, well, okay. That's antithetical to what you just said, so that's fine.
Exactly. Well, I'm saying some people.
Okay, all right. Could be some people.
Actually, it was pretty funny about that comment. When I was younger, I didn't speak up at all. I didn't, I was the person who wanted to hide in the back of the classroom. And here I am, been doing these things for 19 years. It was called internet radio when we first started. But my dad said, you should take a speech class, and reluctantly I did. Best thing I ever did. And you found out that everyone was 10 times more nervous than you were, and if you try to say something, semi-funny, people are going to laugh at just being nervous. And then now that people can't get me to shut up, for God's sake, and all this aspect. So maybe to your point, that's it. I don't know. I think I'd be
Susan, can we set up tree 2 for Drew please?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
As long as I don't have to sing, I can do one.
You can sway. Can you sway?
I can do one enchanted evening.
Okay.
One enchanted evening.
That's pretty.
Trust me,
okay.
we cannot do one enchanted evening right now.
That's a good
Half the
show.
listeners just can't off the damn radio on this. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. They've been doing great things for people in San Diego for 6 decades. Got our friends in from Scripps Ranch Theatre, Ted Leib, director of Kimberly Akimbo, joined by his colleague Debra Wanger, actress in the play. Will be September the 27th. There'll be a preview on the 26th of September.
Correct.
It goes through October 19th, if I'm not mistaken, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. So I know you're going to be at this performance. You go to a lot of plays, right?
We will be at this performance.
We will be at this performance. Very, very good.
Yes.
No, I'd look forward.
I'm making my way back after COVID. Yeah.
Are you?
I mean, I've been trying to see more.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, and Ted, I remember, because you've been on the show quite a bit, and, certainly we know that all you folks had to bob and weave during COVID. It was virtual plays, but that's better than no plays at all, right? And it just got people saying, we can't give up this. But there is nothing, as we've said many, many times, like seeing something live, whether it's live theater, whether it's concerts. Talk about, there's just that connection with the audience.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned concerts. Concerts have bounced back huge since COVID.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Theater's not quite back to where it was pre-COVID, but it's inching along. It's definitely getting better and better. But you're right. I mean, people, I think, unfortunately, the biggest hit that theater took, during COVID was people got used to Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Channel and everything else. And I think they sometimes then sort of got conditioned to equate that as being the same. It's like, I don't need to go to the theater because I can even go look at Hamilton on the Disney Channel.
Right.
It's a theater production, but it's streamed. And
so wrong.
But interestingly, since that went on to Disney Channel, tickets for Hamilton when it goes around the country are selling out.
Yeah.
So people see that and they think, I'd like to check that out live. And they realize when they do that, it's so different. It's so much more personal. It's more emotional. It's more connected. There's something about being in that theater. I'll say this. If you're watching something on a movie screen or TV, you can sit back and just sort of have it thrown at you. When you're in the space with the people, you can't help but sort of invest yourself in what's happening and actually have a personal connection. And it's a different feeling. It's so much more satisfying.
There's no question about it. Well, Ted and Debra, wishing you nothing but great success with Kimberly Akimbo, September 26th, opening night, a preview night, I guess, and September 27th, up for the folks like us that can go see it through October the 19th. Wishing you nothing but great, luck in this. You will see us there, I promise, okay? We'll be there. No,
you promised, yeah.
I do. I promise all the time, but this time I'm going to have to keep my promise. Or Susan Clausen will never bring any of the guests on this, and it's always good talking to you. Ted, you bring some just great content, and what a pleasure meeting you, Debra.
My pleasure.
It's going to be fun watching you play. Kristen, always love having your insights since this is your field as well. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.